time, we thought.
Hi, Natessa.
You know those little things where they put the sugar?
Who's that girl?
He went crazy with that.
Who is that?
Crazy. Spent the whole time just playing with that. And then everybody at the other table.
Okay, we got to start.
Well, we sat outside.
10-4.
We were like 6 feet from the other
Sure. How cute.
Wow.
You hear what she asked me?
Come
Can I sit with my dad? I'm coming to say no. You know, if you know me, I ain't gonna say no to that. Hey, how you doing, my blister? Oh, did you? Yeah, yeah. The new golf shoes, huh? Yeah, pump. Call the roll, please.
Mayor Bain,
I'm here.
Vice Mayor Garcia. Not on. Here. Councilman Best,
Present.
Councilwoman Mitchell. Here. Councilman Fahet.
Here. Please stand for invocation. Councilman Bobby Best has the floor.
Since the majority of the meeting tonight speaks to police work, I'd like to dedicate this prayer to the Miami Springs Police Department. Saint Michael the Archangel, defend us in battle. Be our defense against the wickedness and snares of the devil. Hail, Holy Prince, through your intercession and the power of Almighty God, may you cast into hell Satan and all the evil spirits which prowl through the world seeking the ruin of souls. Amen.
Amen. We say the Pledge of Allegiance, hats off, right hand over your chest.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. It's nice to see some people in the audience. I can't see who you are, but it's really nice to see people in the audience. We start off with 4A, or these are from Chief Guzman. He has a bunch of things he has to do. Some are retirement, some are hiring, some are everything you got tonight.
May I?
You have it.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Council. I'll be honest with you, today's bittersweet.
Yep.
I don't want to say goodbye, but we're saying see you later to 3 members, not just 2 members of the Miami Springs Police family. That being retired Sergeant Daryl Cates, his work partner, his canine partner, Shadow, and then my assistant for the last 5.5, almost 6 years, his life partner, Mrs. Daryl Cates, or Mrs. Leah Cates, sorry. So with that said, Daryl, would you mind? And some of you may not know this, but they're moving from Miami Springs. Their house is empty. They got a pot in their front yard. You know, I was about to call code enforcement on them, but Daryl, please. Yeah.
Look good. You
So-
look good.
You don't have to wear things on your collar or on your shoulders to be a leader. And Daryl is one of those officers that was a leader. To the younger officers, and on many occasions, I would call him in and say, what do you think about this? I know that from a professional standpoint, I couldn't ask for a better representative of the law enforcement service. And as representatives of the city, and to all the citizens out there that don't know Daryl, one of the most outstanding, hardworking, dedicated, professional law enforcement persons that I've had the opportunity and honor to work with. So from a personal as well as a professional, I'm going to miss you, Daryl. I'm going to miss you. But I want you to, for you and your partner, your work partner, to take this, and it says, in recognition of untiring service, his partner's name is Shadow, Miami Springs Police Canine Unit, August 2014 to March 2021. Trained to serve, loyal to the end, a partner faithful beyond words. Presented to Sergeant Daryl M. Cates this 22nd day of March 2021. Along with that, I present him his retiree identification.
Does it have a mask?
And Leah, you didn't get exactly. Leah, what can I say? January 5th, 2015, I walked in and you didn't know me. I didn't know you. You had my business cards. You had my cell phone. You had the budget book on my desk. You had the contract on my desk. You had my email set up. Thanks. I'm sure I'm going to forget something. And, you know, you never stopped since that day. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a lady that from her vacation, from her sick time, wherever she's at, she's on her phone taking care of the men and women of the Miami Springs Police Department. You know, that dedication is something that is rare. Although I think we found it in the young lady that is doing her job already. But also, Leah, you've become a friend, not just to me, but to my wife and my daughter. From day one, my daughter was always bugging you and talking about you. And to this day, you know, she's up at the University of Alabama and she knows that you're retiring and she sends you, you know, a big hug. And my wife does too. So I'm going to miss you also professionally and personally. And your retiree ID, retired civilian, senior executive assistant to the chief of police. So thank you very much.
Yeah, yes.
Want me to take a picture?
Yes, I want you to.
I was
Good. Please. With the mayor, the three of you? Yep.
Daryl, you okay with letting us know what part you're moving to, more or less? Come on. You'll tell me later.
We're moving like chief.
All right.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely.
Enjoy.
Absolutely.
Can we take that?
Oh, that makes sense.
I took one shot already. Thank you, Bobby. Congratulations. You want to see? Just real brief. Give me the mic.
Give him a mic.
Sure, you have. If I had to start this, you have.
Yes.
I just want to thank the whole Miami Springs family, the past mayors, past city council, and past attorneys. Xavier, we got to know you guys just as not as council people, but also as friends too. We see Bob all the time, and Xavier and the mayor. It's been a pleasure and honor to work for the city of Miami Springs and the citizens here. I grew up here in Miami Springs, so it's just an honor to be here, and it's been an honor to work with Lieutenant Gurney, Vargas, and my whole day, Sergeant Vargas,
Vargas.
and the rec people. I mean, those guys and ladies are great because I'm there almost like every other day, so we got to know each other on a personal level. And Chief Guzman, it's not goodbyes. I'll see you later. And he is a friend. I can call you Armando now. Goose. Okay, I'll call you Goose. That's about it. It's kind of out with the old and in with the new. Coming up tonight. It's great. That's about it. Thank you very much.
You want to say anything? All right. Where are you guys moving to? Where are you? Lake Placid? Are you going to bring your buddy, the dogs, with you, or they go with you? All right.
Nice.
God bless you and enjoy your retirement. Okay. Come by and see us too sometimes. Okay. All right.
Daryl, did you teach any of these guys how to make Cuban coffee before you go, please? Please. He taught you? Right. Okay. Listen, that'd be a treat if, 3 o'clock at 3657, you got the chief show up and make some Cuban coffee. That'd be great. Thank you very much for your service.
Daryl and Leah, God bless you both. Thank you for what you did for this city for all these years.
So the bitter is what I just mentioned of these folks moving on, not interacting with them on a daily basis, but having fond memories and new friendships. The sweet is some new folks that are coming in, and that first person I'd like to introduce is, come on up,
Uh-oh.
Miss Ariadna Quintana. She is my new administrative assistant. She is a graduate of Miami Springs High, class of 2017,
Ah,
valedictorian, by the way.
really?
Her bachelor's degree from FIU in health management administration and working on her master's degree, or will be working on her master's degree. And I have to say, when I saw her application and her writing, just that was the first thing that hit me. And I mentioned it to her first. Not only is her handwriting impeccable, but her thought process and what she conveyed is just amazing. And we had the opportunity, or she has had the opportunity to work with Leah for the last almost 3 weeks, and she has hit the ground running. And so far, so good. And I expect many, many great things there. So I don't know, you don't have to, but if you want to say anything, you can.
I just wanted to say I'm very excited to work with the city of Miami Springs as well as the rest of the police department. And I'm honestly blessed to take over Leah's shoes. Everybody's always telling me I have big shoes to fill, and that's very true.
Okay, good luck.
Nice.
Congratulations.
And now one of the other favorite things that I like to do, Officer Lazaro Rodriguez, Lazaro D. Rodriguez, not to be confused with Lazaro M. Rodriguez. So we're going to have Rodriguez 1 and Rodriguez 2. Stand right up there, please. And raise your right hand and repeat after me. By the way, before I swear you in,
Oh, man.
grew up here in the Springs, worked at the rec center. He went off and worked for about 2.5 years with the City of Miami Police Department, and we snatched him back to Miami Springs. So now, I, Lazaro D. Rodriguez, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Florida against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, to uphold and enforce the laws of the United States, the state of Florida, county of Miami-Dade, and the city of Miami Springs. I take this obligation freely, without any mental reservations or purposes of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of police officer of the city of Miami Springs, acting to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations and welcome aboard. You can say something if you like.
Kind of choked up at the end.
You can take off your mask if you want to.
Welcome home. Good to be back. I love Miami Springs. I'm glad I was able to get the position. I love this city. I can't replace Kate's. He's going to be some shoes to fill in, but I'll try my best. And like you said, it's a great year, and hopefully I'm half the man, half the police officer, and half the person who is. Thank you.
Good luck to you.
Chief, you're executive administrative assistant from the rec department
Yes,
as well.
and I failed to mention that she started at the rec center.
Yeah.
And she started working here at City Hall. And when Mrs. Cates told me that, she was retiring, we put out the announcement, and I heard a lot of great things about Adi from Tammy and from Patty. And I remember going downstairs and telling her, you should apply for this position. So, but no, impressive resume and impressive work ethic for a young lady. and very impressed.
My Addie was just telling me that Addie was her leader at summer camp. So she remembered very clearly how nice and how sweet you were to her and all the other kids there. So you're leaving an everlasting impression already.
And she's here with her father.
Thank you, sir. Great job. Good job as a dad.
That's it.
That's it,
All
at
right.
least for now. I think I'll be back up with some other things in a
Oh,
few
yeah,
minutes.
something that we got to spend money on.
Uh-oh.
It's almost it.
Come on, Addie.
The other Addie's coming.
We're going to go in the front.
Go Uncle Benny.
Okay, this was brought to our attention by Addie. She wanted to give a recognition to the police officers in the DARE program. And I said, if she wants to do that, she's going to have to do the presentation. So we talked it over. And she's going to call up.
Officer Simon and Officer Capote. I wanted to give thanks not just from me but from my classmates. They were teaching the DARE program at Isaac Academy, and they didn't only make it educational, but they made it fun to learn about it. And some of us don't let our parents, it doesn't get through to us by our parents, but they made it a way of teaching us it, but not saying the exact things that our parents would have said. They would have said it like we were. And I just wanted to give a lot of appreciation because it was very fun.
Oh.
And Officer Capote.
I thought she did a great job. Don't you think so? She did a great job. Go ahead, take a picture. All right, wait, can we take you without a mask on? Okay, we go. Sure. Congratulations.
Nice job, you guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, now we're going to do something for the great job that we did at the community center. This was brought to us. Denise Badenbach, are you here? These are all the same. It's for their exceptional work and dedication to the Miami Springs and the residents of Miami-Dade County in accordance with the FEMA vaccination site, our community center from March 11th. That don't sound right. March 11th to March 17th. It's from the 17th to.
That's right. I think that's right, Bill. I think that's correct.
I went the wrong day then. All right.
You got the wrong one, Mayor.
You can see it online.
Caitlin Smith. There you go, young lady. Thank you for all your work there. Joe Diaz. Joe is a great fisherman. He's a great fisherman. If you ever want to charter him, don't do it. Anthony Fernandez. There you go. Marcus Martin. Oh, Marcus Martin. He's the one who said about the tequila. Yeah, he's the one. It was you. Who was it?
It was me.
Who was it?
Yeah. It's funny.
Danny Valdez, are you here? He's not here. He's the best looking one
No,
in this.
He's asking about the vodka shot. Jab.
Joe Watts, he's not here either.
I saw Joe earlier
James
today.
Dean. And,
James
What?
Dean just
He had a
became a
baby?
dad.
Jimmy
so-
Dean.
and we have Omar here. Omar, you want to say a few things for these beautiful people that are up here?
Jimmy.
Mask on? I don't care what you do. You got a shot?
All right. So, no, honestly, when William called me about the FEMA vaccine program we were going to do, honestly, myself, Kaden, and Denise sat on the office and we're like, wow, it's going to be crazy here for a week. So we decided to come up with a plan. We walked the community center and, we put it into place and it worked amazing. Like we were shocked of how good it actually worked. Those events, dynamically, things change throughout the day. The one thing I was most impressed with is as fast as we were adapting as things were going on and making it as smooth as possible where people really don't notice the glitches in the system. That's when you know you have a good operation and a good team. I could tell you from experience, I have worked in public sector for almost 25 years now, part-time and full-time. I've worked in several cities with different municipalities, and I've never had a team like I have here. These kids, these young adults are so dedicated to this city that it's hard for me to explain to you guys what they really do for this city. You have to be there every day like I am to see it. Or when we get up at 5 in the morning for 5Ks, like Adi's done it in the past. We have an event coming up that we're going to have to be up at 4 in the morning for. Those are things that nobody sees except us. All right. And I'm glad they're here today because, sometimes we might feel like we don't get appreciated. But the reality is that they know I appreciate them. And they know that for me, they've got my back and 100% I got theirs. With that said, it was a team effort. City manager, Tammy, assistant city manager, were there all day helping us out. The police department did an exquisite job of handling patrons that were sometimes asking difficult questions, and they handled it professionally. It was a total team effort, and it shows that the city, when it's time like that, we all come together, we do it right, and that's what it's all about. So I want to thank the police department, the city administration, and my staff, the mayor and council for supporting us. And we're gonna be doing it again in a couple weeks.
That's right.
Yep.
So we're ready. That's when you got your second shot.
No, I'm going to get it now. I know what date it is. All right. Now listen, so far we've had many people come up here in this time. They come from the rec center. They become police officers. They become administrative assistants. They become all of these things now. All right. I'm looking at all of you all right now. Which one of you will be the first mayor coming out of the fisherman?
Mhm.
God bless you and thank you very much for what you guys did. I was only there a couple hours, but definitely was a very good job by all of you, the whole city. Have a nice evening.
Mr. Mayor, before you let them go, Mayor, take a picture of them. Yeah, take a pic. Besides the picture, I wanted to say something before you let them go. You guys might not know this. Curtis, stop giving me your bag, man. Turn around. Turn around. Don't give me your bag. Look, you guys might not know this, but you might not have noticed, but the lieutenant governor was there during your last couple of days, one of the days that you were there, as well as the directors of FEMA, which obviously were there running it. They made it very clear to us that this was one of, if not the best ran operations that they've been to anywhere in the state of Florida, as well as in other states. It's run by a federal organization. They said they have never seen the organization that you guys had. So just know that the work that we did here in Miami Springs, the work that you all did not go unnoticed by people who do this throughout the state and throughout the country. So I just want to make sure you guys understand that and you know that. So congratulations and thank you for making us look good. You guys did a great job. Thank you. Now you can take your picture.
Nice job, you guys. Up, sir.
Thank you. Okay, we go to where we're at here. Okay, we go to open forum. We have one speaker. Mr. George V. Loeb. What's the V stand for?
Vanguard.
What's your vector?
Roger. George Loeb, 860 Plover Avenue. One thing I'd like to add to these young people that helped out at the rec center. I heard that we set a FEMA record for 1 day vaccinations, and they're to thank. So I want to wish the Cates a great retirement. I know they've left, but I just wanted to make it official. I'm up here today to ask the council a favor. Before I do so, I'm going to speak about somebody. This person has been in Springs and in Virginia Gardens his whole life. He's a very dear friend of mine. He grew up here and he played sports all his life. He excelled in baseball. I think some of you know who I'm talking about. As he grew up and he had kids, he volunteered his time in the sports. He's given a lot to the city, and in his later years, he became mayor. And as somebody who wasn't very good at speaking, he became good at speaking as he became mayor. The reason I say all this is because many people don't get recognized until it's too late, until they don't see it. And on behalf of his wife and myself, I'd like this council to consider naming the rec center after William Bain Jane. William Bain. You don't have to give an answer, but I'd like it to be a consideration. I will make a formal request later on, but I just wanted to thank him for his service. Thank you.
Thank you, George. Appreciate it. Thank you. That concludes open forum. We go on to 9, consent agenda.
6, approval of minutes. Number
Motion
6.
to
Oh, I'm
approve.
sorry. God, I got a little.
Through the chair, motion to move.
Second.
Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Garcia,
Aye.
Councilman Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Behet,
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes, we go to 9, consent agenda, A, B, and C.
This is a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Miami Springs, Florida, approving the purchase of police uniforms from Luz Police Distributors in an amount not to exceed $25,000, providing for a waiver of competitive bidding, providing for authorization, and providing for an effective date. This item does require a 4/5 vote for council per section 31-11 E6G of the city code. You want me to read the next one?
No, we'll do this one since it's a 4/5 vote. Okay, I'll entertain a motion.
Through the chair, motion to move 9A.
Yeah, my second. I'm sorry. Councilwoman has a second.
Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Behet,
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes, okay. You can do the next two together.
9B, this is a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Miami Springs, Florida, authorizing the retirement of the police K9 Shadow, approving an agreement for the transfer of ownership of K9 Shadow, providing for authorization and providing for an effective date. 9C, a resolution of the mayor and the city council of the city of Miami Springs, Florida, approving a lease agreement with Peterson's Harley Davidson of Miami LLC for 4 police motorcycles in an amount not to exceed $115,200 over a 36-month term, providing for authorization and providing for an effective date.
Motion to approve 9B and 9C. Mayor.
Second that.
Further discussion? Call the vote.
Vice Mayor Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Best,
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Behet,
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes, we go on to 10A, old business.
This is a resolution of the mayor and city council of the city of Miami Springs, Florida, approving a first amendment to the professional services agreement with Brenda Knight, a licensed franchisee of Jazzercise Inc., providing for authorization, providing for an effective date. This item was considered at the last meeting. It was deferred. Since then, Ms. Knight has agreed to the terms in the agreement.
There's no changes from the agreement from the first
Not at
time.
all.
Entertain a motion.
Motion to move the item, sir.
I'll second.
Any further discussion?
I'd like
Yes, for discussion.
the discussion also.
She
Go
hit
ahead.
it first.
Go ahead, Grandma.
William, can you tell us what happened? Because I know Brenda, when she was here last time, and I feel very strongly that, you know, she's been doing business, as I've said, for the county, providing a service, a recreational service for our county. I mean, for our
city.
county, for city, excuse me.
You're going first county now? You haven't even got done the mayor here.
After 30 years at the county, it pops out. But at the last meeting, she had voiced concerns that this contract, you know, wouldn't allow her to remain in business. So what has happened since then?
What happened was, leading up to the prior meeting, we had presented her with this and given her the, under the terms, it would be $12 per participant, up to 25 participants, which is $300 a month, which is what she was paying under the old agreement. Then she came to the council meeting and wanted to see if it was possible to change it from 12 per participant to 10. And we told her, no, that based on what she's paid in the past, which is $300 a month, it came out to, she averaged 25 participants, $300 a month. So we said, we'll work with you, and during these months, if you have 10 participants, like she had in February and March, she's already paid those 2 months. She paid 120 each month. And as her number of participants increase, the rent will increase accordingly until she gets back to normal, whether it's 6 months from now or next month or a year from now. But the most she'll ever pay is $300 a month for the next 3 years, which is similar to what she got under the old contract.
Is, and I know she's not here today. What, I guess I'm still confused as to what changed from the last meeting, if we're offering the same one and at the last meeting.
She
said
has
that it
agreed
wasn't
now to
possible.
pay the $12 per participant. She doesn't want, she wanted $10, but she's agreed to pay the $12. That's in the agreement now.
Through the chair, I'd like to apologize to my colleagues up here and as well to William Alonso, the manager, for comments that I made at the last meeting, or 2 meetings ago, actually, relative to this. And I'm going to tell you why. I was not privy to the discussions that had occurred between Ms. Knight and the city manager relative to the items in the clause going forward. Had I known that at the time, I'm not certain I would have wagered a vote the way I did at the previous meeting. And I'd like to apologize to the manager mainly in public for that motion. I think it's fair what the city has extended to her at this point. And I think if Brenda were here tonight, she would agree. I think she, in coming to open forum, which I thought was kind of, you know, not kosher, if you will, and to try and move that from where she stood with the city manager during the discussions, I certainly wouldn't have gone the direction that I went. So I just like to mention that here to all of you. And I'd like to laud the city manager for working this out and carving out the agreement that he did. And I think that we still have Jazzercise, Brenda's still in business, and we move on. Thank you, Mayor.
Got it. Anybody else have to say anything?
Yeah, Mayor, I just wanted to say that when we first were given the proposal that came from Brenda, I think some of the concerns that some of us on the council had was that it wasn't a deal that was fair for the city. So I want to, kind of piggyback on what Councilman Best said and applaud the efforts of Omar and of William in getting us a deal that kind of is a win-win. And I think that, at that time I said that there was a compromise to be had. And again, I think it's fair and to her credit, Brenda was able to retroactively pay for some months. Obviously some months were forgiven because of what happened and because of the closures in the county,
But I think that this is fair going forward. And the fact that, she won't pay any more than she was paying before, but it does allow her to get back onto her feet. Again, I think it's a win-win, and I think it's the best thing for the city. So thank you guys for coming to an agreement that works for everybody.
I guess the thing also is that when this was brought up, I told you my situation, how I felt about it, and I appreciate council go ahead and have this negotiated to be a fair. My thinking looking at this is that the way, as I said before, might as well state it for the record, she is at a somewhat of an advantage to use public building versus people that are in the private sector. And I thought we were getting too far away from her letting other people compete against her outside the building. And that's why I had my druthers, but this agreement is back to where it was. So I commend everybody for researching this and and finding out the things to do, but just to go ahead and vote on something. So I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Do I have a first and a second?
You do, sir.
I call a vote.
Vice Mayor Garcia,
Yes.
Councilman Best.
Aye.
Councilwoman Mitchell,
Yes.
Councilman Behet,
Yes.
Mayor Bain.
Yes, we go on to city attorneys. Anything from the city attorneys tonight?
I think there is something. I love it.
I would, but I'd like it as a point of personal privilege, Mayor, if I may.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Yes.
I mean, I get to say something not business related.
Okay, you got it.
Personal privilege. Good term.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So it seems like a lifetime ago, I had the rare opportunity of serving with Mayor Billy Bain in the chair currently occupied by Mayor-elect Mitchell. And Mayor Garcia had not yet been elected. And it was 2010. I was bushy-tailed and wide-eyed, and we had a lengthy conversation. I was sitting next to Councilman Best about we had a conversation
Is he
about
right?
economic development. And the mayor looks over to me and says, "My sponge is not big enough for all your water, Councilman Espino."
Yeah.
Which in my opinion it stuck with me. Obviously, it's one of Billy's colloquialism, but it was also the nicest way anyone had ever told me I was full of BS. Sometime later,
Go to hell and
the
enjoy
mayor
trip, right?
presented me with a sponge. Believe it or not, I kept. So on the eve of his retirement from the council, I wanted to present you with
the sponge.
a piece of the sponge, because I kept the other half. All right. I again, it's a point of personal privilege. It's not from the firm. It's from me. It says, "My sponge is not big enough for all your water, Councilman Espino." From Mayor Bain, City of Miami Springs, circa 2010. And I wrote, "Thank you for lending me your sponge during all these years of leadership, service, and friendship."
Oh, nice, Danny.
Thank you, Dan.
Oh, yeah.
That's awesome. Oh, man.
I remember that. I remember that when it happened. I almost fell off my chair laughing because I said he was telling me to go to hell.
Yeah, why don't you stand up here so we can get a picture? I think it's important for both of you to know that we still joke around about that in circles here in the city about that comment.
Oh boy. Too funny, Danny Espino. Too funny.
We have a list of things that only Billy Bain can get away with saying.
That's it.
And that's on there.
On the top.
That's on there. That's on there. Oh, man.
It was. In a way, it was.
Oh, that's amazing. Good job, Counselor.
That might make some money off. Oh, look at that. That's really neat.
It is neat.
Remember, I know Dan and his family since they were little punks like this.
Yeah, so did I.
Baseball. I'm proud of him too for what he's done in his life and
Sure.
representing the city as a gentleman and a scholar.
And a scholar. And a scholar.
We go to city manager.
Well, Heidi, does Heidi have anything for us?
I wanted to actually echo, I have some personal friends.
Yes, you're on.
I have some personal friends who reached out to me, that they had come to the site for the human vaccination. And everything Vice Mayor Z, that you mentioned and everyone else, is absolutely true. The public is super happy with how it turned out. And it really goes to the feet they haven't had that discussion. So I got that feedback and I thought it was pretty good.
Thank you. Thank you. City manager, anything from you?
Yes. You have something?
I was just going to mention about the second dosage of, for the FEMA. Just don't forget it. It's April 1st through the 7th.
Do you have to remind people to have their card that they were given?
They should have their card, but if they gave a phone number, they should have gotten a text message with a link and they can just click on
All
that
right.
link
So
as
in other
well.
words, there's still, if you don't have your card, there's still
No, you need the card that day because they have to scan it.
Scan it.
That's what I mean. So you're going to have the card.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
and the way it works, if you went on Thursday for the first shot, you go on Thursday for the second shot, and so on.
Right.
I know there are people that may be out of town on that day. They say you can go 4 days back or 4 days forward.
Okay. Good to know.
So, but that's coming up next week. I wanted to end my comments on a positive note. As you know, the Congress passed the American Rescue Plan recently, and it included some funding for local governments, including cities.
Mm-hmm.
And I got today the report of what each city in Miami-Dade County is going to get, and I'm going to pass it on to you. Just remember, we're still waiting for guidance from the federal government as to the actual process of how this money is going to be spent. But I know one of the things that they say it can be spent on is investments in water and sewer infrastructure. So the first thing I thought about was the stormwater problem we have over on the east side.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for guidance on that. They say the first half of the money will be given within 60 days. It goes through the state. So I'm also waiting for guidance from the state on that. And the other half of the money will be given 1 year later. So within a year, we'll have this amount. But I wanted you to get a look at the amount our
Awesome.
city is getting based on population.
You don't want to announce it publicly.
I will as soon as you all get it.
I don't know if he's excited or.
You can pass it
know.
one down.
All right.
Yeah,
You don't
just-
want to wait for it. It's 5 million. 5,848,232 for the city of Miami Springs.
That's your,
That's half in 1 year, half the next.
Half within 60 days, 60 to 90 days, and then the other half will be paid 1 year.
1 year.
does that work relative to the project? You know, if we could,
Oh,
we'd
that's-
start it and then just run it for, and get the whole thing
If
done.
we do that project, I'm thinking of, remember we had talked about the problems we were having at Stafford Park, and I said it was going to cost a couple of million to fix that?
Mhm.
We would have to hire an engineer, our engineering company that we just got, to develop plans for that, and then bid it out and see how much that's going to cost. So that's going to take a few months
Well-
anyway. But the thing is, this money, one of the other things they note, the deadline to use it is 2024.
Mhm.
So we have almost 3 years, a little over 3 years. to use
So
it.
we can pull that from our lobbyists then for going to the state,
Well, this is
which
back
will
up-
allow us to do other things.
All right, listen, remember, this is my last time, but remember the promises that this council has made about the street on East Drive, Poinciana,
The flooding over there by.
flooding Poinciana,
South
about
Road,
making that one lane and so on.
Right.
South
right.
Road, Quincy.
Remember, before we get in, well, I just got to say it,
That's right.
before you get into the water on Stratford, them projects over there are for the city, not for the county field.
right.
I hope you guys remember that should go first. Okay?
Hey, look at me, I'm leaving with you.
Those
man.
are two different appropriations, Mayor.
No, I'm talking about if this money can be used to it.
Well,
If
but
it's
let's see
for-
which appropriation, well,
Yeah.
this is another meeting, but
Yeah.
depending on which appropriation goes through, then with
For
the
the
state,
state,
then we'll
yeah.
have the other
Right,
money, the
right,
5
right,
million.
right,
from
right,
the
right,
city,
right,
and
right, right.
Hopefully we can
However
do
You
you
can play
spend-
both.
However the money comes in, I'm saying them are the projects that should
Yeah,
go
no, you're
number
right.
one and number,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
all
yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah, sure.
No, believe me, if we get the 5.8 million, it's enough money for everything.
I'm saying though.
Yeah, so,
Okay, all right, I'm out of here. City Council, anything from Councilman Best?
Yeah, there is something from Councilman Best, Mayor Bain. And I suppose this is the last full meeting that I'm going to be sitting up here with you for. Next time will be basically ceremonial. I've certainly, over the years, Bill, 16 to be exact, I'm on my 15th, but certainly enjoyed conducting the business of the city with you. We've had our ups and downs, our differences, but at the end of the day, you're a good man, and you've always thought very highly of this city and always put it in your forefront. And I'd like to thank you for that. And I will miss you here. I think your seat will be taken over by someone that will continue that vintage. And I think for that, you should be appreciative.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Bain. Secondly, it was a nice show of the police tonight. Chief Guzman has always said that it's going to be my policy from now on that any officer that I bring onto the force, I will personally swear in front of the city council, and he's kept it. And tonight was another event along those lines, as well as the retirement of Daryl and his wife and Shadow. I've known Daryl for 25 years at least, and he's been a good cop in this town. He's really, again, same as the mayor, he's always looked after the city very well. So God bless them both, and all three of them rather, in retirement. Omar, you're so underrated and never lauded for anything, but I'm going to do it tonight. That week and the food drives and all of the above through this pandemic, that you have run events through the city and through the rec center have been off the charts. And you're certainly to be lauded for that, man. You're again, another asset to the city sitting right back there. I see two of them tonight, but I don't see the other two folks that are running for office here in chambers tonight. And I'd like to thank all four of them that are running for their commitment to the city, their commitment to the people of Miami Springs for doing so. I wish each and every one of them well in the election on April the 6th. And what happens, happens. But we're going to have two new people up here. And I think we'll have a nice council going forward. I just want to say that. And finally, I'd just like to mention happy Passover and happy Easter to everybody. We won't meet again before those events. Thank you, Mayor.
Councilwoman Mitchell.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to, first of all, just, I know we've talked a lot about the FEMA, the vaccinations, but I'm just in awe of our mighty little city, what we've done throughout this pandemic, starting with when the pandemic started, the senior center staff, how they, worked to make sure that the seniors who couldn't go to the senior center for their lunches, that the lunches were delivered every week. 5 meals were delivered, and sometimes 7 at their homes, so that they would have meals throughout the week, and they kept in touch with them. We added a lot of other seniors who weren't normally going to the senior center, but who couldn't get out, and fed them, starting with that, and just arranging for COVID testing. And then at the beginning of this year, when the vaccinations were available at Jackson and at very few locations, how our city manager and assistant city manager in the senior center just started making calls and making appointments. And from the very beginning, from I think January 4th, our city started helping to make sure that everyone who was eligible for a vaccine and wanted to get vaccinated could get vaccinated. And then it just kind of cascaded into these other really great, with the All Angels Church, and now not even culminating because it's still going on, with vaccinating thousands of people at the senior center, at the rec center. And what's really awesome about that is we didn't draw the line with, just are they residents of Miami Springs? It just evolved to, if we could help anyone, we were helping them. And certainly with the FEMA sites, but with everything else, it was just, reaching out and who wants to be vaccinated? We've got a few slots, we'll get them in. And I'm just so appreciative of the work that, our city staff has done. All of them, the rec center, the senior center, so many others, and William and Tammy to do this. The other thing I wanted to say is, I know there's no food drive this week, right? But the Lions Club is actually having a food drive on Friday.
26th.
So for, anyone who needs the food, wants to take advantage the opportunity to go to a food drive. There is one this week. And then I wanted to, of course, to say something with Mayor Bain. It's been an honor sitting here and being on the council with you. And even though we haven't always agreed on things, that doesn't mean that you were wrong. It's just happens. And then I wanted to make something for you, because when I really think highly of someone, it's, as a gift, I want to make something for them. So the first thing that came to mind was a sweater that I knit you a sweater with like Miami Springs across the top. Luckily for you, I don't know how to knit.
That's right.
So then I moved on to something else.
Kind of happy too, but
So after much thought, and I know the 4th of July parade and the 4th of July fireworks are very important to you. So I made this. These are flags from the 4th of July parades that have been used at the 4th of July parades here in Miami Springs. And it's just my token to
thank you.
tell you how much I appreciate and what an honor it's been
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
being here on the council with you and your leadership.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to take a second to recognize Mayor Bain. I don't think anybody could argue how much he cares about this city and how much how selflessly you've served the city. And you've always been a staunch advocate for what you think is right, even when some people disagree with you. And I think it's telling that after the fact, and then years later, not as many people disagree, and then they kind of come on board. But I think it says something about the vision that you have, and you fight for what you think is right for us. And I think that you do it for the right reasons. And I think that should be recognized by everybody, because you've served this city incredibly. And I think all of the residents of the city owe you a debt of gratitude. And you've also been very welcoming to me being up here. So I personally appreciate you, but I also appreciate what you've done for our city. So thank
very
you.
much. Appreciate it. Thank you. Mayor Garcia.
Well, like was mentioned, we will be here, although ceremonially, we will be here at the beginning of the next meeting. So I'm going to reserve my comments about you until then.
Okay.
But just one thing I'll remind folks is that in my house, you're not Billy Bain, and you're not the mayor. You can tell. What is he?
Your Uncle Billy.
Besides that, leaving Billy Bain for our next meeting, I know that the work that we do here as council members, we do it because we truly love it. And I mentioned something the last time I was up here about why some of you, or all of you who are up for re-election, ran unopposed, because you truly, genuinely do things because it's your job, and you truly, genuinely want to serve the public. And you don't do it for a pat on the back. You don't do it just to tell people, oh, look what I did for you, to brag about it. You guys don't do that. I wasn't always like that when I first got elected, but I learned it through Billy Bain, jamming my chair every once in a while, like, shut up, kid, but, got me to realize, do things for the city. Don't just brag about them. So, and I got an example of Councilwoman Mitchell. You go to Tallahassee, you go meet these elected officials, and it's just part of your job. You don't tell folks about it, but I'm going to tell folks about it, because the folks in Tallahassee that you met were very impressed by you. A lot of them had already met you before, but they were just, some of them hadn't had the opportunity to meet you before. My good friend, the Lieutenant Governor, was very impressed by you. She couldn't wait to come back into town. And let me tell you something, she loves Billy Bain, but she was quite impressed by you. I just want to say thank you very much for going up there. And you don't go up there and want to let everybody know where you were at. You were in Tallahassee, pat yourself on the back. You were up there doing the good work of the people. So thank you very much. And you keep doing that. We talk about how, this is, actually this will be Mayor Bain and my last full meeting before we have the ceremonial one next week. But we're not going anywhere. Mayor Bain's not moving out of the city. I'm not moving out of the city. We're going to continue to be public servants here, no matter what. So just know that if you all ever need anything from me, my doors have always been open to you, and I'm grateful that your doors have always been open to me. So I'm looking forward to serving you all as a resident while you serve me as my council and incoming mayor. So thank you all very much.
Through the chair, I'm going to reserve my comments on you till the ceremonial, Mr.
Oh, all
Garcia.
right, all right. No, thank you.
I'm gonna hold off till the last meeting and say my piece. I just want to say one thing. Both Bob and Councilwoman Mitchell says we didn't always agree. We were, how did you say it? We didn't always agree.
But you weren't always wrong.
That wasn't always wrong.
Right.
The bottom line is if we don't disagree and we don't have discussion,
You got a problem.
we got a problem.
Yeah,
So
really.
I want to make that clear that we should we can't just go across the board, yes, 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 or no. That's what we're up here for, is to discuss the situation and come to a conclusion.
Right.
So this meeting's adjourned.
Thank you, sir.
You see this, what you gave me?
Garbage from the.
Those are all used in
They're all,
actual,
they're all.
these are
been
all
used
used
and
in
waived
parades.
See that?